Brendan, one of the things that we haven't talked in a little bit, but you were always saying like it's going to get there, it's going to get there. Those fine details. What has it been like for you watching this team on this run right now?
Yeah, it's great, and I can compliment everybody and give. I think the big thing is work ethic. I think that's where it starts. But those detail parts we still need to work on, and there's still a lot of areas. I mean, an area that I think we need to work on is our first period.
Yeah.
We have to come out a little bit better, and I felt like early. Game like 4, 5, 6, I thought we had some pretty good starts there, and it just sets up your game. So that's an area that we want to get back to is right off the puck drop is get a good start and get the flow. But this is all detail stuff. So it's a work in progress, but I'm obviously very happy with how things are going and keep trying to ride the wave.
When you talk about that first period and needing that, and you talk about those details, what does that entail, and how do you make that?
Well, it's just preparation. So you're ready to go off the puck drop. And a lot of that, to be honest, is stemmed from our play with the puck. So a lot of times we're coming in and we're trying to make the cute play instead of maybe the high percentage play of maybe it hits a soft chip and go to work. And that's an area I think that we have to get back to. I see it in the second period. We start playing our game and making the higher percentage reads. But I think we got to get to that right off the bat and then establish it, and then that's where you'll find your chances to maybe turn up or make plays, and then the game flow describes of how you can play the game. And I think early we're too excitable or too trying to make too many plays early. It would be better to establish our forecheck in the first 10, and I think that will help us with the first period starts.
One of the interesting things for me is that in the first couple games of the season, we talked so much about playing against other teams that are benchmarks for you guys. How do we match up? Recently, we've heard other teams say that about you, that this is the team that we have to see how we play against. What is how do you keep that out of the mentality and knowing you're just focusing on it? And what does that kind of mean when you put yourself in that position?
Yeah, I think for us, we want to play our game, and that will just make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance to win. Obviously, there's those benchmark teams. Tonight's a team that has great offensive ability, and they are great off the rush, so we have to limit it. Turnovers, and that's where I'm trying to talk about how our first period is make the high percentage reads so they're not creating the chances going the other way. And so there's all different teams have different, I guess, their what makes them great or what makes them tick, and we have to make sure we take those away and just limit them. So for us is to play our game, but by establishing, making high percentage reads, and then take what is given. And obviously you guys hear this all the time, but take what is given is such a great thing. If they give you time to roll up. If they have great gaps, you got to get it behind and go to work. So that's just how I think those details, things that we were talking about, I think that will help this club continue to move in the right direction. And I'm not trying to downplay everything that we've done, because I know this has been a great wave and everything, but our end picture is greater than just these wins here. So that's what we want to keep doing and keep getting better at that.
Brandon, on that take what's given type of situation, I know you had a few good chances on the offensive end in Montreal. Is that more of a focus for you now, or was that just what was given in that game?
Any game could be totally different for me, especially. I really try to let the game come to me rather than chase it, because when I was a young kid, I chased it and it became difficult. It just happened in that game. There's opportunities for myself to get up in the rush or slide into a hole, but that's just whatever happens at that moment. I'm aware that my points aren't as great as I was hoping they would be with this bagel, but I'm just trying to keep creating chances and breaking pucks out and doing my job, and I know what my job is, so the better I do that, the more I give the other guys opportunity.
Wins are coming, but we like our game, we like our style of play, so if we keep going like that, we'll be good.
What is the style of play?
Fast, we're on pucks. The forward group works hard, D are gapping up pretty well. we try to be a connected group and, a five-man unit out there. So when we're skating, we're a pretty good team.
You guys are rolling four lines. You notice that in the third period that other teams are just getting kind of worn down?
Yeah, I mean, we have one of the best fourth lines in the league, I'd say, with McLeod, Bastion, Wood. So, that line really, it's not even a fourth line. They score for us. They're on puck. So when you got four lines that are going, it's just, obviously you have more energy, but it just, you can kind of roll over on some teams.
The goal is always to get to this point.
You go ahead, Nico.
That maybe we can give enough credit, but it's been a big part of your lineup throughout the year. Just in your own words, how big is Nico for your team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's our captain, heart and soul of the team, and he's a 200-foot guy. Probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's up there with some of the best 200-foot guys in the league. So it's a guy we expect to lead us offensively and defensively for years, and a guy that people for sure have in the Selke watch for a lot of years.
What's checking for you, Jack, on this streak? 15 points leads the team in this run.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's easier to get on the board when you're winning, obviously. So I think it's a collective thing. Like I said, we got a lot of guys going well right now. Obviously, Nico and Brad are having great years, so it helps to play along with them. But it's been good.
Is there anything you focused on improving coming into this season from the summer?
I don't know. I mean, you're always working on your game, trying to get better. So another summer of that for me, and would like to keep it going.
Born in Florida, Michigan's home, but you spent a good deal of your life here in Toronto. What were those years like for you?
Yeah, spent a lot of time in Toronto, growing up here. So a lot of friends here and people. So special place, and it's exciting to come back here.
What made it special for you?
I don't know. You grow up here, spend a lot of time here, so it's a special spot, and it's fun playing the Leafs.
And finally, for your game, what did playing here do with this kind of competition in this area?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, Toronto's like the hot spot of hockey in the world, so it was really good to play here and grow up here.
You've had your number the last.
Just talk a little bit about the development of your game. I know we discussed it on the radio side. You had to try to figure out what it takes to stay in this league. You've developed that fourth line mentality, but with an offensive flair too. Just go into your mindset and your growth.
Yeah, I think I almost have a little bit of a unique role. I think I'm on a fourth line that's valued on this team, and then I don't think many fourth liners get a crack at the first power play unit, so they use me there, and penalty kill has been something I've been working at, and kind of all different areas of the ice. I think it's nice. Lindy trusts me, I guess, and just all kinds of smaller areas of my game I've been trying to build on.
On the power play the other night, you have the net front presence, but there's more than just standing in front of the goalie. What's the art of good net front presence?
Well, the art is Jack picking the corner. We've talked about in the past about getting in front of the goalie's eyes, and you see the goalies in the league now, and see how well Vitek's playing. If he can see the puck, there's probably a pretty good chance he stops it. So it's funny you call it an art. I don't know if I look at it that way, but it's something you can work at, right? You can be in the right spot and make sure the goalie can't see the puck. So it's just been something we've been working on.
And lastly, Sheldon Keefe was saying one of the strengths of this Devils team is that all four lines at 5-on-5, the top 4 5-on-5 scorers are each on a different line. What does that do for a club?
I think it does a lot. I think if you can put out any line against any line, you're in pretty good shape as the game goes along. Because guys talking about different situations, sometimes special teams pile up, guys are tired, and sometimes you need other guys that are more rested to be able to go out there and play. So having 4 lines that contribute, I don't think many teams can say that. So that's definitely a characteristic of a good team.
Yeah, I think
Eric, I wanted to ask you about just the way, as a team, all 4 lines can sort of beat anyone on transition, the way you guys sort of suffocate other teams. What is so unique about that, the way you guys play, is that 4-line unit?
Yeah, I think it's our work without the puck, just coming back. We harp on it all the time. Back pressure, making it hard for them to get easy entries to our zone, and that way our D can stay up and we can create some turnovers, go the other way.
Can you feel when another team is getting suffocated by the way you guys play?
At times maybe, but just focus on our deal basically and keep doing it. That's usually a good feeling when when you see that. But we've been in some tight games lately. Even last night it wasn't so clear cut as the score tells. So another test tonight. So more of the same for us, and we just gotta keep on going.
One of the things I was talking to Brendan about is that first period, those first couple minutes. Like, how do you make that shift to say, like, we need that better opportunity? Like, we need to be better in those few minutes.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of that, feeling good, in the first periods of how things have been going for us, and then we kind of get back to our way of playing when the game goes on. But V saved us last night in the first period. He was unbelievable and gave us a chance to fight back, and then we started taking over a little bit. But against a team like Toronto, it's going to be really important tonight that we don't come out like that, and we get to our game right away. And it's something that we talked about.
What's the balance in appreciating how far you guys have come over this stretch, but also understanding that this is not the be-all, end-all. There's other areas of improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep saying it. It's so early on in the season. It's great that we're feeling good and we're playing well, and try to get some separation in the standings early on, and it's a great thing. But we just like I said, I was last year on a team that had over 100 points and was a wild card team, so it just puts it a little bit in perspective of you can't take any rest, and just having that attitude that every game is really important.
What's really going right for you guys these days?
Well, I think as a team we're on different nights we've got almost everybody that's contributing in the win. So 1 through 4 lines defensively. The 6 defensemen are playing well, and we're getting key saves. So most night we're giving ourselves a chance to win a hockey game.
The plan was always to get to this point, and knowing that there's still a lot of work to do, can you sort of reflect on the patience and the organizational, just what it took to get to this point with this young group and trusting them?
Well, I think everybody saw we had a lot of pain last year with even just the amount of goalies we had to use. When you lose the 2 guys you're counting on. And we went 7 goalies deep. There was times I think we changed our style of play just to try to help the goaltenders out. And, we're back to how we want to play the game, play it quick, have our defense involved. And again, 1 through 4 lines when they're clicking like that and skating like that. We can be relentless at times. There's times where the other team can take it to us, but I think our response usually is we can gain the offensive zone and make good things happen.
What growth have you seen in Jack Hughes' game this season?
I think everywhere. Just from the way he shoots the puck, play away from the puck is something that I think has improved. It's something that we've worked really hard with a lot of our guys. That we know that if we're going to be a good team, we have to play well defensively, and just a commitment to being in the right place at the right time, and being on the right side of the puck. At key times in the game, I think has probably been his biggest commitment.
It takes a while to build a defense core. It takes a while, right? And it looks like you have your defense core now where you probably want it to be in terms of the personnel and the way they play.
Yeah, when you look at how well the group has played from 1 through 6, lefty righties, moves the puck. We got good size back there, good reach. Sticks have been real good. I think it's frustrating when you've got a 6'5" defenseman with a long stick and can keep you to the outside. So I probably can't say enough about how well the group has played. Moved the puck, got up ice, have been in a lot of chances, and I think the key to any good offensive team is calculated times that the defense get involved. I think when you've got a big lead or you're late in the game and you've got a lead, you kind of pull back. But I think to put pressure on the other team, you need your defense involved.
Great moment the other night for you, fans chanting "Sorry, Lindy." How did that feel?
Well, I said when initially at the start of the year, we had a great training camp. Played well through the preseason. Didn't play a great game in Philly. I generated enough but gave up too much. I actually felt we played a game we should have won against Detroit. The score wasn't really representing what should have happened in that game. And being around this long, you don't really listen to the outside noise. I said after our fans are passionate. I think they're like everybody else. They want to win. They're impatient. They're tired of seeing the team lose, and
I thought the next game we just put everything together. We got the goaltending, we got the key saves, and we've just been building since then.
Some of your players said they took that personally. What does that say about the group?
Well, it's awful nice of them actually to say that, but I think that even what Miles said about doesn't want to be a bad team after those first couple games, and he's referencing some of our play away from the puck. So as a group, I think the accountability, looking after each other. We've got a pretty tight-knit group right now that everybody wants to be, in on the action on the wins, and everybody wants to be held responsible when we don't play that well.
Speaking over the fourth line, Nate Bastian, what growth have you seen in your 2+ years with Nate?
Well, he's hanging on to pucks longer. He's making plays. He's been a big presence. I know 5-on-4 net front power play has been big. I think confidence-wise to make better plays, to hang on to pucks in tight areas.
And lastly, I'm sorry, you've won 10 in a row. You did that once before in your career, first 10 of, I think, the 05-06 season in Buffalo. What, any similarities or?
Well, I think our team is similar, like 4 lines deep. At that time we had, we had a line with, I remember Drury and Greer, and then we had a line with Roy Finneganoff and Vanek. So we were kind of 4 lines deep, and we were a tough group to play against, because if you shut down one line, the other line could score. And I think right now that's really what we have. We have 1 through 4; they're able to score. We got a defense that can get involved. We had a Brian Campbell at the time. So there's lots of similarities. And goaltending, to get on a stretch like this, you've got to have a goalie that's helped you win games. And our goaltending has really helped us win hockey games.
Why is Nico such a big part of your club? What does he do that really makes him such a pillar?
He's a great two-way player. Probably a better person than he is a player, I think, which counts for a lot. He cares more about his teammates than probably he does about himself. And he'll wear that. You'll see that sometimes in his mannerisms, that he wants to take care of every one of his teammates, maybe to a fault at sometimes, that he wants to lead by example.
Do you think that Jack's puck-carrying abilities is what helps separate him as a player and as a game breaker? Is that his real, best skill?
I think you got to have speed, and Jack's got speed and lateral movement, which is very tough on defense in today's game. A change of speed, and when you can go east to west as quickly as he can, is probably his biggest weapon.
Do you see Nico as a guy that could win a Selke one day?
I do, yeah, for sure. He's a power play guy. He's he's one of our top penalty killers. You look at where he is with his play away from the puck. I actually think he should be a candidate this year. If he can stay healthy, his two-way game is it's right up there with Bergeron, with the likes of those type of players.
In the past 2 years, Lindy, has Jesper Bratt evolved into one of those guys like a Kucherov or a Point? Smaller guy who gets more involved and is kind of reaping the reward.
Yeah, I think that's is a good comparison. Point has got elite speed. I think that Bratt has elite speed. He's got a change of gears like a Kucherov has. Kucherov is maybe not the fastest, but very deceptive. So he's got a little bit of that, along with the speed that he can play the game at. So I think that puts him in a category similar to those guys.
Lindy, we were talking depth, and I looked at average ice time today. There's no Devils in the top 50. So what does that say, both short term in terms of third period stamina, but also long term for an 82-game season, that you can limit minutes like that?
Well, I really have been trying hard to make this about the team, that all 4 lines are able to play on both sides of the puck and play in any situation. And I think that if you can get that, you can get more out of your shifts and more out of the group. If you can go harder in a shorter period of time, instead of having your top guys playing 22, 23 and your bottom guys playing 6 or 7. I think our guys have really bought into, you'll get your extra time on the power play, you get your extra time on the penalty killing, but 5-on-5 play, we want everybody to be part of the team.
How do you assess the challenge presented by the Leafs tonight?
I think it's a big challenge. I think they're in ways they're similar to us. They got good speed. They got a great transition game that we have to be aware of. You look at their last 5-6 games; they played very well. So you know that they're trending the right direction. They play with a lot of speed. They got 2 or 3 guys that can hurt you alone. So you know we have to be aware of their what are their strengths and make sure we're trying to take that away.